An alien queen's failing heart. A human holds the key to her survival. The stars stretched endlessly across the black sky as the starship horizon glided silently through the void. Inside, the hum of engines and the soft chatter of the crew created a steady rhythm, one that reminded Dr. Alina Hart of the quiet labs back on Earth. Yet, nothing in her experience could have prepared her for what lay ahead. Today, humanity would meet the rulers of Lithera, a planet so advanced that its cities floated above forests of crystalline trees, glowing softly in shades of blue and green. Alina adjusted her uniform, smoothing her hair back with a nervous hand. She had been chosen as the xenobiologist for this mission because of her expertise in cross-species physiology. It was a role she had trained for her entire life, yet the weight of responsibility pressed on her chest like a physical weight. This was not merely a diplomatic mission. It was a test of human ingenuity, diplomacy, and perhaps even survival. The ship's communication system beeped softly, signaling that they were entering the orbit of Lithera. Alina moved toward the observation window. Below, the planet's surface shimmered, rivers of iridescent liquid winding between floating cities that gleamed like gemstones. Hovering platforms connected the buildings, and creatures with wings like delicate glass sails moved gracefully through the air. It was breathtaking. "Dr. Hart," called Commander Reyes, her voice calm but firm, "we're about to dock. Prepare for first contact." Alina nodded, swallowing a nervous gulp. She straightened her spine and followed the commander to the airlock. A sense of purpose filled her. Humanity had sent envoys to countless worlds, but this was the first time they would meet an alien ruler face to face, and not just any ruler. The Queen of Lithera was said to possess wisdom and intelligence that rivaled the greatest minds in the galaxy. The docking procedure was smooth. The Horizon's hull connected seamlessly to the Litheran welcome platform, and the doors hissed open. Alina stepped onto the glowing surface, feeling the gentle vibration of the alien city beneath her feet. She inhaled sharply, the air lighter and sweeter than Earth's, tinged with a scent she could not name. They were met by a delegation of Litheran officials, beings taller than humans, with elongated limbs and eyes that shimmered like liquid crystal. Their movements were precise and fluid, each gesture an expression of grace and control. Alina bowed slightly, following the formal protocol she had learned. "Welcome, humans," a voice resonated in her mind rather than her ears. Alina froze, then realized the Litherans communicated telepathically. "I am Lithara, the Queen's envoy. She awaits you in the Citadel of Light." The delegation led them through corridors that seemed to float, walls and floors pulsating with soft luminescence. Alina's senses were overwhelmed. Technology beyond her understanding blended seamlessly with architecture that seemed alive. She wanted to touch everything, to understand the principles behind the beauty, but she focused on the mission. Finally, they arrived at the central chamber of the Citadel. The room was circular, with a high ceiling that seemed to vanish into light. At the center, upon a raised platform, sat the Queen of Lithera. Her form was majestic, with a presence that radiated authority and intelligence. Her skin shimmered with colors that shifted as she moved, and her eyes, deep and radiant, seemed to peer into Alina's very soul. "Welcome, humans," the Queen spoke, her voice both heard and felt within their minds. "I am Queen Seraphina of Lithera. I have observed your species for many cycles. You carry potential, yet I sense uncertainty." Alina stepped forward, bowing her head slightly. "Your Majesty, I am Dr. Alina Hart. It is an honor for humanity to meet you. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge between our worlds." The Queen inclined her head, a gesture of acknowledgement. Her gaze lingered on Alina for a moment, as if weighing her carefully. "You are brave to stand here before me, human. We will see if your courage matches your words." As the formal introductions continued, Alina noticed something unusual. A faint, irregular pulsing from the Queen's chest, subtle but present. At first, she thought it was an artifact of the light or a reflection. But as she watched, her instincts as a xenobiologist screamed that something was wrong. The rhythm was uneven, faltering. She shifted slightly, trying to hide her concern. "Is everything all right?" she asked cautiously, directing the question to the Queen's aides rather than the Queen herself. The Litheran envoys exchanged glances, their telepathic expressions flickering with tension. "It is a temporary strain," one replied, but Alina could sense their uncertainty. The queen herself seemed unaffected outwardly, yet there was an undeniable vulnerability in the subtle fluctuations of her energy. As the meeting proceeded, Alina made mental notes. The queen's biology was unlike anything humans had studied. Her body radiated energy, and her heart, a massive, crystalline organ visible through her semi-transparent chest, beat in irregular patterns. If the queen were human, this would be considered a serious medical emergency. But this was Lithra. Their physiology was more complex, more refined. Yet even here, Alina sensed danger. After the audience, the humans were escorted to a side chamber for debriefing. Alina immediately began discussing what she had observed with Commander Reyes and the mission's medic, Dr. Eiko Tanaka. "Did you see it?" Alina asked, urgency in her voice. "The queen's heart, it's irregular, it's subtle, but it's there. Something is wrong." Commander Reyes frowned. "Are you sure? You've just met her. Maybe it's normal for her species." Alina shook her head. "I've studied alien physiology for years. That pulse is unstable. If it worsens, it could be life-threatening. And I have a feeling it won't wait for the next diplomatic session." Dr. Tanaka frowned. "Even if it is an issue, the Queen's medical technology is far beyond ours. Surely they can handle it." "They may not know," Alina said quietly. "I saw the tension among the envoys. They were worried, but they are hiding it. If we do nothing and this gets worse, it could destabilize the entire mission." The team exchanged glances. Alina's instincts were rarely wrong. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing against her chest. Here they were, guests on a planet of unmatched sophistication, and yet she might be humanity's only hope to save a life, one that carried enormous political significance. The following day, the humans were granted rare permission to study the Queen under controlled conditions. Alina prepared carefully, bringing instruments and sensors adapted to Litharan biology. She approached the Queen's chambers with both excitement and trepidation. The Queen herself greeted Alina warmly, her radiant eyes softening as she spoke. "Dr. Hart, I sense your concern. You see what others choose to ignore." Alina bowed, feeling the Queen's presence in a way that was almost physical. "Your Majesty, I mean no offense, but I believe your health may be in danger. I would like to observe you to ensure that nothing serious occurs." The Queen's lips curved into a faint, enigmatic smile. "Few humans have ever dared speak so openly to me. You have courage and honesty. Proceed, then." As Alina set up her equipment, she marveled at the Queen's heart. Unlike any human or known alien organ, it shimmered with colors that shifted with each pulse. But beneath the beauty, the irregularity persisted. Alina ran her instruments, recording vital signs and energy flows, her mind racing. Hours passed, and the irregularity worsened. Alina realized that this was not a simple anomaly. It was a failing organ. She tried several non-invasive techniques to stabilize it, but nothing worked. Sweat dotted her brow as she watched the Queen's pulse falter. Finally, Alina whispered under her breath, "There's only one way to help her, but it's risky." The Queen, reading her thoughts through their telepathic link, nodded. "I trust you, human. Show me the courage of your species." In that moment, Alina understood that her mission had changed. This was no longer just diplomacy. It was life and death. And she, human, small, and fragile compared to the towering alien, might hold the key to saving one of the galaxy's most powerful beings. As the sun of Lithra set, casting the chamber in gentle golden light, Alina prepared for the impossible. She felt a surge of determination. Humanity had faced challenges before, but never like this. Yet she would not fail, not today. The first step of an extraordinary journey had begun, one that would test courage, science, and the very heart of what it meant to be human. The citadel of light was quiet, yet the air seemed alive with energy. Alina stood in the Queen's private chamber, her instruments spread out across a smooth, glowing table. Queen Seraphina watched her silently, her radiant eyes reflecting curiosity and patience. Alina could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on her chest like a stone, heavier than any she had ever carried. This was no ordinary medical case. If she failed, it could shake the delicate alliance humanity was trying to build with Lithra. Alina glanced at her readings again. The Queen's crystalline heart pulsed irregularly, each beat fluctuating between strong and weak. The irregularity was subtle but unmistakable. Something deep inside the organ was failing. It was not a surface issue, not a temporary energy imbalance. This was a critical structural problem. "I've studied your biology for years," Alina said carefully, her voice low so only the queen could hear, and I think I understand the problem. But it's unlike anything I've ever encountered before. Serafina tilted her head slightly, as if weighing Alina's words. I trust your mind, human, tell me what you see. Alina took a deep breath. Your heart, it is magnificent. But there is a part of it that cannot sustain itself. The energy flow is unstable, and it is affecting your overall vitality. If this continues, it could fail completely. The queen's eyes softened. I had hoped it would not come to this, she said, her voice carrying a note of vulnerability rare for a being of her stature. Few on Lithera have ever faced such a condition, and fewer still would allow another species to intervene. Alina hesitated. The solution she had in mind was dangerous, untested, and dependent on human biology, a concept that might alarm even the most open-minded Litherans. There is a way to help you, she said carefully, but it requires something very unusual, something that may seem impossible. Serafina leaned forward, her gaze piercing but calm. Impossible is merely a word, human, tell me. Alina described the procedure she had been developing in her mind for days. It was a technique that had no precedent, a controlled, temporary transfer of human biological energy into the queen's heart. This transfer would stabilize the failing organ and allow it to heal naturally. The concept relied on a compatibility she had noticed earlier, an unexpected similarity between certain human biochemical markers and the queen's energy patterns. The queen listened without interruption, and when Alina finished, there was a long silence. Alina's mind raced. Would the queen refuse? Would she call it madness? The tension was unbearable. Finally, Serafina spoke, her voice steady. You ask me to allow a human, a foreign being, to merge life energy with me. This is unprecedented. Even my most trusted advisors would hesitate. Alina nodded. I know, it's risky, but I believe it is the only way to stabilize your heart before the condition worsens. Serafina's eyes softened further, and Alina felt a warmth that was almost comforting. You have courage, Dr. Hart. Few humans would propose such an intimate act of trust. I will consent if you believe it will save me. Alina's heart pounded. Relief and fear tangled together. I do, she said firmly, but we must be very careful. Any miscalculation could harm both of us. The queen nodded. Then we shall proceed with caution. Alina spent the next several hours preparing. The Litheran medics and engineers were hesitant but intrigued. Their technology was advanced, yet even they had never attempted anything like this. Alina worked alongside them, translating her human medical knowledge into a form they could understand, combining their energy manipulation systems with her biochemical understanding. This is highly unorthodox, one of the Litheran engineers said, his voice carrying an edge of awe. Human biology is fragile, and you propose to use it to mend a royal heart of Lithera? Alina smiled faintly. Fragile, maybe, but adaptable. Humans have survived challenges that seemed impossible, and sometimes that adaptability can make all the difference. The engineer looked at her for a moment, then nodded. Your confidence is impressive. Let us begin preparations. The chamber was transformed into a hybrid laboratory. Glowing panels floated around them, generating energy fields designed to monitor the queen's heart while accommodating the unusual human intervention. Alina adjusted each sensor carefully, explaining every step to the Litheran medics. Dr. Hart, one of the medics asked, are you certain this human method will be compatible with our queen? Alina paused, considering the question. Nothing is certain, she admitted. But her physiology, it resonates with certain human markers. If we synchronize carefully, the energy transfer should stabilize her heart. The queen, observing silently, suddenly spoke. Dr. Hart, if this works, it may change the way our people view humans. We see you as small, fragile, yet your mind and your courage are unlike anything we have encountered. Alina blinked, caught off guard. I thank you, Your Majesty, I am just trying to help. Serafina's expression was unreadable, but there was a hint of warmth. Help and perhaps teach us that courage and empathy are as important as strength. As night fell on Lithera, the chamber pulsed with soft light. Alina reviewed her plan again. The first step was non-invasive. She would synchronize her own biological energy with the queen's heart rhythms, using the Litheran energy fields to stabilize the irregular pulse. If successful, they could proceed to a deeper phase of the procedure that would allow the queen's heart to heal naturally. Alina prepared herself mentally. She closed her eyes and focused on her breathing, imagining the flow of energy connecting her to the queen. Slowly, she felt the first delicate threads of connection, a warmth spreading through her chest as her own energy began to align with the queen's failing heart. "Are you ready, Dr. Hart?" Serafina asked, her voice calm but carrying authority. Alina opened her eyes, meeting the queen's gaze. "Yes, let's begin." The Lithuanian medics activated the energy fields, and a gentle hum filled the chamber. Alina could feel the queen's pulse beneath her focus, erratic at first, struggling to maintain rhythm. She guided her own energy carefully, infusing subtle stability without overwhelming the queen's natural flow. For long moments, nothing seemed to change. Alina felt a wave of doubt. Had she miscalculated? Was this too dangerous? But then slowly, she noticed the irregularity easing. The queen's heart, crystalline and radiant, began to pulse in smoother patterns. A soft glow spread across her chest, and the queen exhaled a long, steadying breath. "It is working," Alina whispered, her voice filled with wonder and relief. Serafina's eyes met hers, a hint of a smile forming. "Yes, human, you are remarkable." But even as relief washed over her, Alina knew the challenge was far from over. Stabilizing the heart was only the first step. The next phase would require deeper synchronization, a riskier transfer of energy that would demand every ounce of her courage and focus. Alina took a deep breath and steadied herself. She was ready. Humanity's ingenuity, adaptability, and bravery had brought them to this moment. And she would not fail, not when a life so precious, so important, hung in the balance. The Queen's advisors watched in silence, their initial skepticism replaced by awe. For the first time, they saw the human not as fragile outsiders, but as beings capable of extraordinary insight and courage. Alina felt a spark of hope. Perhaps in saving the Queen, she was not only healing a heart, but also opening a door to a new understanding between their species. The chamber glowed softly, a gentle rhythm of light and life, as human and alien energies began a delicate dance. Outside, the city of Lithera shimmered under the twin moons, unaware of the extraordinary effort unfolding within its heart. And within that quiet, glowing room, Alina Hart took the first true step toward changing the destiny of two worlds, her courage lighting a path that few had dared to imagine. The chamber hummed softly with the energy of delicate machinery and alien light. Alina Hart stood near the Queen's radiant heart, her hands steady despite the tension in her chest. The first phase of the procedure had succeeded, but now came the most critical part, the deeper synchronization. Alina glanced at Queen Serafina. The Queen's crystalline heart pulsed in a steady rhythm, brighter than before, yet it still held fragile irregularities. Every beat was a reminder that even a small misstep could undo hours of progress. Alina felt her own heartbeat mirror the Queen's as she prepared for the next phase. "This is the point where trust becomes action," Alina whispered to herself. She could feel the Lithuanian medics watching, their expressions tense but full of quiet hope. Even the Queen's advisors, who had initially doubted her, seemed captivated by the unfolding moment. Serafina's eyes met Alina's, radiant and calm. "Are you ready, human?" she asked, her voice soft but carrying authority. Alina nodded firmly. "Yes, Your Majesty." "We will proceed carefully." The next phase required a closer merging of human and Lithuanian energy. Alina would need to project her life energy, her own heartbeat, into the Queen's heart in a controlled way. It was a delicate act, unlike anything she had attempted before. She focused her mind, imagining the rhythm of her energy flowing outward, reaching toward the crystalline organ before her. The Lithuanian medics activated the energy fields once more, creating a gentle, pulsating glow around the Queen's heart. Alina adjusted the sensors, monitoring the energy transfer carefully. The hum of the machinery filled the chamber, a constant reminder of the precision required. At first, the process was slow. The Queen's heart responded hesitantly, as if testing the unfamiliar human energy. Alina's focus was complete. She felt the threads of connection stretch and intertwine. The irregular beats lessened, the rhythm smoothing with each pulse. "You are precise, human," the Queen said, her voice calm but filled with subtle wonder. Few could attempt such a feat with such delicacy. Alina allowed herself a small smile but quickly refocused. "It's not over yet, Your Majesty. We must maintain the connection until your heart is fully supported." Time seemed to stretch. Minutes passed like hours as Alina and the Queen's energies aligned. Each pulse was a test of endurance and concentration. The Lithuanian medics monitored every fluctuation, their confidence growing as the heart's rhythm stabilized. Then came the first challenge. A sudden fluctuation rippled through the queen's heart, irregular and unexpected. Elena's own energy faltered slightly in response. She took a deep breath, grounding herself, and adjusted the flow with precision. Slowly, the pulse regained its smooth rhythm. "Your mind is strong, human," Serafina said, sensing Elena's effort. "Your courage strengthens more than your own heart. It strengthens mine as well." Elena felt a surge of warmth at the queen's words. She had expected gratitude or relief, but this acknowledgement of human courage struck a deep chord within her. For the first time, she realized that her role was more than medical. It was a bridge between species, a proof of humanity's unique ability to combine intellect with empathy. Hours passed, the chamber glowing softly with synchronized energy. Elena adjusted the flow repeatedly, observing subtle changes in the queen's pulse. Each adjustment brought the heart closer to full stability. The irregularities faded, replaced by a rhythm that was strong, even, and confident. "This is remarkable," one Lithuanian medic whispered to another. "I never thought a human could achieve this. We doubted their abilities, and yet here we are." Elena remained focused, aware that the slightest distraction could disrupt the delicate process. She spoke quietly to the queen, not aloud but in thought. "Stay steady. We are almost there." The queen responded, her telepathic voice calm and serene. "I trust you, human. Your courage is evident. Continue." Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Elena sensed the heart fully stabilize. The crystalline organ pulsed with a steady, radiant glow, brighter and stronger than it had been in cycles. The irregularities were gone. The energy flows were balanced, harmonized, and healthy. Elena exhaled slowly, relief flooding through her. She had done it. Against all odds, human ingenuity, adaptability, and courage had succeeded in saving one of the galaxy's most revered beings. The queen opened her eyes, her gaze warm and luminous. "You have done what none of my people could. You have given me life, human. I am grateful." Elena shook her head, humility filling her heart. "It was not just me, your majesty. It was all of us, humans and Lithuanians working together. Your strength allowed us to succeed." Serafina smiled faintly. "Perhaps it is true then. Strength is not only in the body, but in trust, courage, and understanding. You have shown me the value of your species, Dr. Hart." Elena felt a sense of pride she had never experienced before. Humanity had faced incredible challenges throughout history, but now, far from Earth, she had demonstrated the courage, intelligence, and empathy that defined her people. The chamber remained quiet for a moment, filled with the gentle glow of the queen's stabilized heart. The Lithuanian medics and advisors watched in awe. Elena noticed subtle shifts in their expressions, a growing respect for the human who had achieved what they believed impossible. "You have changed more than my heart," the queen said softly. "You have changed the way my people may see humanity. Perhaps we have underestimated your potential." Elena's pulse quickened, not from fear but from hope. She realized that this was not just a medical triumph. It was a moment that could redefine relations between their species, showing that humans could rise to challenges that even the most advanced civilizations might shy away from. Yet, even as relief settled over the chamber, Elena knew the work was not entirely done. The queen's heart was stabilized, but it would need continued support, careful monitoring, and adjustments to ensure lasting recovery. The energy flows had been aligned, but the delicate balance required ongoing attention. "We must continue observation, Your Majesty," Elena said. "The heart is stable, but we need to ensure it remains healthy. Small adjustments may be needed as you resume your normal activities." The queen inclined her head. "Then I will trust your guidance, human. You have earned it. I will follow your advice." Elena nodded. She felt a quiet determination settle over her. Humanity had proven itself capable, and she had proven her own ability to rise to extraordinary challenges. But she also recognized that the bond she had formed with the queen, the trust, the understanding, the shared courage, was as important as any technology or procedure. Over the following hours, Elena worked closely with the queen and the Lithuanian medics. She adjusted energy flows, fine-tuned synchronization, and taught them methods to monitor and maintain the heart's stability. The queen, curious and intelligent, asked questions, eager to understand the process and the human methods that had made it possible. "You humans are fascinating," Serafina said at one point. Your fragility is your strength. Your courage comes from understanding the stakes, not from overwhelming force. Perhaps this is why you could succeed where others could not." Elena smiled. "We face challenges every day, Your Majesty. Sometimes the difference is simply refusing to give up, even when things seem impossible." The Queen's gaze softened, a rare expression of warmth for one of her stature. "Then perhaps we will have much to learn from one another. Not just in medicine or science, but in courage and resilience." As the twin moons of Lithera rose over the city, casting a soft glow through the chamber windows, Elena felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The first true test had been completed, but she knew the journey was far from over. The bond between human and queen had opened new possibilities, possibilities for collaboration, understanding, and mutual respect that might shape the future of two worlds. Elena realized with quiet satisfaction that sometimes courage was not about strength alone, but about the willingness to trust, to act carefully, and to push beyond the limits of what seemed possible. And in that glowing chamber, as human and alien energies intertwined, she understood that humanity's true power lay not only in technology or knowledge, but in the heart itself. The courage to face the unknown, the empathy to connect with others, and the determination to rise to challenges no one else dared confront. The heart was healed for now, and in that healing, a new chapter for both humanity and Lithera had begun, a chapter of trust, courage, and hope. The chamber glowed softly, illuminated by the pulsing energy of Queen Seraphina's stabilized heart. Elena Hart stood beside the Queen, exhausted but focused. The first two phases of the procedure had succeeded, but the Queen's heart, though stable, had not yet fully healed. The final phase, the high-risk phase, would require more than skill or intellect. It would demand complete trust, courage, and personal sacrifice. Elena reviewed her plan silently. The last step involved a temporary fusion of her own biological energy with the Queen's heart, creating a stronger, fully synchronized connection. If successful, the Queen's crystalline heart would not only stabilize but fully regain its natural strength. But if anything went wrong, Elena risked overextending herself, possibly endangering her own life. "Are you certain about this, Doctor?" "Hart," Commander Reyes asked, her voice tense. "It's risky, we've already come so far." Elena met her commander's eyes, determination shining through her fatigue. "I've studied every detail. I've considered every possible outcome. This is the only way to give the Queen a complete recovery. Humanity may be small compared to Lithera, but we can do this." Reyes nodded slowly, respect mingling with concern. "Then I trust you, Elena." The Litheran medics prepared the chamber, their advanced technology humming in harmony with the Queen's energy. Elena adjusted the sensors one final time, ensuring the alignment between her energy and the Queen's heart would be precise. The air seemed charged with anticipation, every presence in the chamber aware of the gravity of the moment. Seraphina's gaze met Elena's, radiant and calm. "Human, I have placed my life in your hands. I trust you completely." Elena felt a surge of emotion but focused her mind. "And I will honor that trust, Your Majesty. We will do this together." She closed her eyes and centered herself, sensing the rhythm of her own heartbeat, steady and strong. Slowly, she projected her energy outward, connecting with the Queen's crystalline heart. The first pulses intertwined gently, tentative at first. The Queen's heart responded, pulsing more evenly but not yet fully synchronized. "Steady, steady," Elena whispered, focusing every ounce of her attention. She felt a delicate warmth spreading from the Queen's heart through her own chest, a gentle reminder of the shared energy between them. The Litheran medics monitored every fluctuation, adjusting energy fields carefully. Even with their advanced systems, the process required Elena's own human intuition and judgment. She guided the energy, adjusting subtly, sensing the exact moment to strengthen the connection. Then, as if testing their bond, a sudden ripple of instability passed through the Queen's heart. Elena felt the pulse falter slightly, a wave of tension that made her chest tighten. She paused, breathing deeply, grounding herself. Focus. Calm, trust, she told herself. Slowly, she realigned her energy, strengthening the bond while keeping the Queen's natural rhythm intact. Seraphina, sensing Elena's struggle, sent a quiet thought. "You are brave, human. Courage is as important as precision." Elena smiled faintly, drawing strength from the Queen's words. "And you are strong, Your Majesty. We will do this together." Time seemed to stretch, the moments measured only by the pulse of the Queen's heart. Elena maintained the connection, adjusting her energy flow, her mind and body fully attuned to the crystalline organ before her. She could feel the queen's life force intertwining with her own, a delicate balance that required complete concentration. Gradually, the pulse began to strengthen, the irregularities smoothing out completely. The queen's heart radiated a soft, steady glow, brighter than it had been in cycles. Elena's own energy flowed seamlessly, merging with the Queen-S in perfect harmony. "You are remarkable, human," Seraphina said, her voice gentle but filled with awe. "Few beings could demonstrate such courage, such determination. You have not only saved me, but you have shown the value of your species." Elena's chest swelled with pride, but she remained focused. The synchronization was delicate. She could not allow herself to relax completely. Every heartbeat mattered. Every pulse was a test of endurance and precision. As the energy flowed, Elena noticed subtle changes in the queen's physiology. The crystalline heart began to radiate more vibrant colors, shifting through soft blues and greens, a sign of increasing vitality. The Lithuanian medics whispered among themselves, clearly impressed by what a human had accomplished. "This is extraordinary," one said softly. "We never imagined a human could stabilize the queen's heart so completely." Elena maintained her focus, pushing fatigue aside. She felt the energy connection deepen, a sense of warmth spreading through her entire body. It was not uncomfortable, but intense, a reminder of the risks she was taking. The queen's trust was absolute, and Elena felt the weight of that responsibility. Minutes passed, each one feeling like an hour. Slowly, the energy flows reached perfect alignment. The queen's heart pulsed evenly, radiating light and strength. Elena could sense the complete healing process initiating, the energy stabilizing the organ and reinforcing its natural rhythm. She exhaled slowly, a wave of relief washing over her. It worked, she thought, her mind filled with wonder. Humanity had achieved the impossible. Seraphina opened her eyes, her gaze luminous and warm. "You have done it, human. My heart is restored, stronger than it has been in many cycles. You have not only healed me, but you have shown my people that courage and empathy are as important as strength and knowledge." Elena felt a flush of gratitude and humility. "It was an honor, Your Majesty. I could not have done it without your trust and cooperation." The queen reached out, placing a hand near Elena's shoulder, a gesture of connection that transcended species. "Your courage has changed more than my heart. It has changed how we see humans. Perhaps your people have more potential than we realized." Elena smiled faintly, her exhaustion tempered by pride. Humanity had faced countless challenges, but this moment, far from Earth, among beings of unimaginable power, had proven that intelligence, courage, and empathy could overcome even the most extraordinary obstacles. The Lithuanian medics and advisors observed silently, their previous doubts replaced by awe. Elena noticed subtle nods and expressions of newfound respect. They were beginning to understand that humans, though small and seemingly fragile, could achieve feats of extraordinary ingenuity and bravery. As the energy field stabilized, Elena slowly withdrew her energy, careful to maintain the queen's new strength. The crystalline heart continued to pulse with steady rhythm, glowing softly, a symbol of recovery and resilience. Seraphina's eyes softened, reflecting both relief and admiration. "Dr. Hart, you have demonstrated a rare combination of skill, courage, and empathy. Few beings, human or otherwise, could have succeeded in this task. You have my gratitude." Elena felt a quiet warmth in her chest. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I am grateful for your trust and for allowing me to help." The queen's advisors, who had been silent throughout the procedure, began to speak among themselves. Elena could sense their respect growing. They had witnessed something extraordinary, a human, small in stature but vast in courage, bridging the gap between species and saving a life that none of their advanced technology alone could have preserved. "You have changed more than the queen's heart, Doctor." "Heart," Seraphina said softly, "you have changed the way we will view humans in the future. Perhaps your species will play a role in shaping the destiny of Lithera." Elena's pulse quickened with hope. Humanity's place among the stars was no longer uncertain. In that chamber, with the queen's heart beating strong and the energy fields glowing softly, Elena understood that courage, empathy, and determination were as powerful as any technology or strategy. The twin moons of Lithera rose high in the sky, casting their soft light through the chamber windows. Elena took a deep breath, feeling a sense of accomplishment and purpose unlike anything she had experienced before. The journey had been perilous, the risks immense, but the outcome was clear. Humanity had proven itself capable of extraordinary things. Serafina placed a hand lightly on the table, her eyes meeting Alina's. "Dr. Hart, you have earned more than gratitude. You have earned respect not just from me, but from all who will hear of this day. Humanity has shown courage and wisdom beyond what we imagined." Alina smiled, her exhaustion tempered by pride. "I only did what I could, Your Majesty, but I believe this is just the beginning. There is so much more we can learn from each other." The Queen's gaze was thoughtful, her expression radiant. "Yes, human, and perhaps together we will face challenges even greater than this. But today you have given me life and shown the potential of your people. For that I am deeply grateful." As the chamber settled into calm, the energy flows maintained their balance. Alina Hart, human and small in the vastness of space, had achieved the impossible. She had saved a life, bridged a cultural divide, and proven that courage, empathy, and intelligence could overcome even the most extraordinary challenges. And in the soft glow of Lithera's twin moons, a new chapter began, not just for the Queen, but for humanity and the galaxy itself. The sun of Lithera rose slowly over the floating cities, casting a warm golden glow across crystalline towers and luminous forests. In the Citadel of Light, the air was filled with quiet celebration and subtle anticipation. Queen Serafina stood tall, her crystalline heart now pulsing steadily, glowing brighter than it had in cycles. Humanity had proven itself, and the citizens of Lithera were beginning to understand the courage, intelligence, and empathy of the small beings from Earth. Alina Hart stepped lightly across the chamber, her hands still tingling with residual energy from the high-risk procedure. Fatigue tugged at her muscles, but her mind was sharp, alive with the satisfaction of a mission accomplished. She had saved a life, one of unimaginable importance, and in doing so had changed the perception of humanity forever. "Doctor." "Hart," Commander Reyes said, her voice filled with both admiration and relief. "You did it. You actually did it." Alina gave a small, exhausted smile. "We did it," she corrected softly. "It wasn't just me. The Queen trusted us, and the Litheran medics helped every step of the way." Reyes nodded. "Still, humanity has proven itself capable of so much more than anyone imagined. Even the Queen acknowledges it." Alina glanced at Serafina, who was observing them with her characteristic calm and radiant expression. The Queen's gaze seemed to look past the humans, physical forms, seeing their minds, their intentions, and the courage that had guided their actions. "You have exceeded expectations, Dr. Hart," Serafina said, her voice both gentle and commanding. "Your species, once unknown to us in terms of resilience and courage, has now proven itself to be remarkable. You have not only saved my life, but also opened a new path for understanding between our peoples." Alina felt her cheeks warm. She had never thought of herself as remarkable. She had only tried to do what she believed was right. Yet the Queen's words resonated deeply, reinforcing the sense that humanity had a place in the stars beyond exploration or curiosity, a place defined by courage, intelligence, and empathy. Outside the chamber, whispers of admiration spread among the Litheran medics and advisors. Some had initially doubted the humans, viewing them as fragile and limited. Now they watched Alina with respect and awe, realizing that humanity's strength was not only in technology or physical ability, but in determination, ingenuity, and the capacity for trust. "Your Majesty," Alina said softly, approaching the Queen, "it's my hope that this is only the beginning, that humans and Litherans can continue learning from one another." Serafina inclined her head, a gentle radiance in her eyes. "Yes, human. There is much we can share and learn. You have demonstrated a courage that my people should not forget. Your presence here is a bridge between worlds." Alina nodded, feeling a wave of pride mixed with humility. Humanity had faced challenges throughout history, yet here, far from Earth, they had made a difference in a galaxy filled with intelligent life. Their ingenuity, adaptability, and courage had saved a life that was critical not only to Lithera, but to the delicate balance of interstellar diplomacy. In the following days, the Queen invited Alina to participate in cultural and scientific exchanges. Together with the Litheran medics, they worked to develop methods for monitoring and maintaining the Queen's heart, blending human medical understanding with Litheran energy technology. It was a collaboration unlike any seen before, a fusion of minds and approaches that emphasized the strengths of both species. Elena noticed subtle changes in the way the Litherans treated her. Where once there had been hesitation and skepticism, now there was respect and interest. They asked questions, sought advice, and even observed her problem-solving methods, recognizing that human adaptability was a resource as valuable as any technology. One day, while walking through the floating corridors of the citadel, Elena paused to observe the city below. Streams of light flowed like rivers through the sky, connecting towers and platforms. Creatures with delicate wings moved gracefully, their translucent forms glimmering in the sunlight. Elena felt a profound sense of wonder. Humanity had traveled far, yet here, among beings so different, they had left an indelible mark. "Doctor." "Hart," Serafina said from beside her, her voice thoughtful, "do you realize what you have done? Not only have you saved a life, but you have shown my people that courage and empathy are forces just as powerful as knowledge and power. You have rewritten what we believed possible." Elena smiled faintly. "I hope it is only the beginning, Your Majesty. There is so much more we can achieve together." The Queen's gaze softened, and for a moment the weight of her long life and responsibilities seemed visible. "Yes, human, together we will face challenges that none of us could imagine alone. You have proven that humans are more than observers, our partners, capable of shaping the future." Word of the procedure and the humans' courage spread quickly throughout Lithera. Humans were no longer seen as small or weak. They were beings capable of ingenuity, empathy, and bravery. Ambassadors, medics, and scholars from other regions of Lithera expressed admiration and curiosity, eager to learn more about the species that had saved their queen. Elena found herself at the center of attention, yet she remained humble. She knew that what had mattered most was trust and courage, not fame. She worked tirelessly with the queen and her advisors, teaching human medical techniques, learning Litheran energy practices, and forming connections that transcended species boundaries. Over time, a deeper bond formed between Elena and Serafina. They shared ideas, explored cultural traditions, and even laughed at the small misunderstandings that inevitably arose when humans and Litherans tried to understand each other. Through their collaboration, both species began to see the value of unity, the power of empathy, and the importance of courage in the face of uncertainty. One evening, as the twin moons of Lithera cast a silver glow over the floating city, Elena and the Queen stood on a balcony overlooking the forests below. The city shimmered softly, reflecting the harmonious balance between nature, energy, and civilization. "You have given me more than life, Dr. Hart," the Queen said quietly. "You have given my people hope, and you have shown the potential of humanity. Perhaps our worlds will never be the same." Elena gazed at the glowing forests and floating towers, a sense of peace filling her heart. "I hope we can continue learning from one another, Your Majesty. I believe we can achieve amazing things together." Serafina nodded, her crystalline heart pulsing with steady light. "Yes, human, together we will face challenges that none could face alone. Today marks a new dawn, not just for me, but for all of Lithera, and perhaps for humanity as well." Elena felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She had traveled across the stars, faced a challenge unlike any she had ever known, and emerged with not only a victory but a deeper understanding of courage, empathy, and trust. Humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer uncertain. It had been earned through action, intelligence, and heart. In the days that followed, ambassadors from other worlds arrived on Lithera, curious about the humans who had saved the Queen. Elena, alongside Serafina, welcomed them, sharing knowledge and demonstrating the potential of interstellar cooperation. The humans were no longer seen as fragile outsiders. They were respected partners, capable of wisdom, ingenuity, and courage that could influence the destiny of worlds. Elena reflected on the journey. From the moment she had arrived on Lithera, facing the uncertainty of the Queen's failing heart, to the high-risk procedure that had saved her life, she had learned the true power of humanity. It was not in strength or numbers alone, but in empathy, courage, and the willingness to act in the face of impossible odds. And in that realization she felt hope, not only for herself or for Lithera, but for humanity as a whole. There was a vast galaxy out there, filled with challenges and mysteries, yet now she knew that humans were capable of rising to any test, bridging worlds and shaping the future with both intelligence and heart. Queen Serafina placed a hand gently on Elena's shoulder, the glow of her heart radiating warmth. Dr. Hart, your courage and determination have changed more than my life. You have changed the course of history for two worlds. Humanity has a place among the stars, and it is because of you. Elena smiled, humbled and proud. I am honored, Your Majesty, and I know this is only the beginning. Together our worlds can do more than I ever imagined. As the twin moons rose high above Lithera, bathing the citadel in silver light, Elena looked out over the city, the forests, and the floating towers. She felt a sense of belonging, of purpose, and of hope that stretched beyond her own life, beyond the Queen, and beyond humanity itself. A new dawn had arrived, not just for Lithera, but for the relationship between worlds. Humanity had proven that courage, empathy, and determination could shine as brightly as the most advanced technology, and that even the smallest species could achieve the extraordinary. And in that light, Elena Hart knew one thing with certainty. The galaxy had only just begun to see the true potential of humanity.